describe a person. This is one of the most common tasks in IELTS speaking, but we're often limited by the same descriptors: nice, kind, and smart. Let's learn some advanced vocabulary to talk about people we know and work through a few answers to possible IELTS questions. It's Asia. Let's get started. Let's start with vocabulary we can use to talk about those closest to us, family and friends, and have a look at a part 2 question. With family, you may be asked to simply describe a person in your family you get on well with, or alternatively, spend most time with. Another possible topic is to describe a person in your family you admire. Among the bullet points to cover in our 2-minute talk, we'll find, of course, the who this person is question. But we always should mention the all-important what's he or she like. We're talking character, personality, positive characteristics. Now, it's too easy to say that someone is nice or good, but what vocabulary do we need to really stand out in the speaking test? Let's take a couple of examples. I get on best with my uncle. We've been close ever since I was a child. We get on like a house on fire, maybe because we share the same sense of humor. Apart from that, when it comes to emotional support, I couldn't ask for more. He's always there for me when I need someone to talk to. And he's such a good listener. A lot of interesting vocabulary. If you have a good, friendly relationship with someone, you get on with that person. So you and I get on well, or in this example, comparing all the family members, get on best. We can also say, sadly, I don't get on with my aunt. In your family, who are you close to? If you say my brothers and sisters, that's fine, but is there one of them you're closest to? Notice also how we often put close to in a time frame. Ever since I was a child. It's often used with always or never. We've always been close. If you have a great relationship with someone at work, for example, you can say that you get on like a house on fire. But what about someone you don't get on with? One idiomatic expression to show that you're 100% different to someone else is to say, we're like chalk and cheese. Two completely different things. We have nothing in common, unlike the uncle described, who has the same sense of humor. So it's something we share. If a relationship, or anything for that matter, is so good that it couldn't be better, we can say, I couldn't ask for more. Maybe because, as in this case, that person is always ready to help, is always there for you, and has that very positive characteristic of being a good listener, someone who pays attention to and respects what you say and think. And what about describing someone you admire? Let's try. I have nothing but admiration for my grandmother. I know we all tend to take older family members for granted, but when I began to learn of all the sacrifices she made, I was amazed at her outstanding qualities. Not only did she bring up a family of 4, but also qualified as an architect, studying mostly at night. She's a true source of inspiration for all of us. The lessons of hard work, devotion, and striving to achieve one's goals that she has taught us are invaluable. Some clear expressions here, I think. We can admire someone or have admiration for someone. Why? Well, because of their very positive characteristics, their outstanding qualities, which have influenced us, have been a source of inspiration through the example of hard work, devotion or dedication, as well as the idea of striving, working hard to achieve some goal. Of course, in life and especially in the family, there are people we just expect to always be there doing the things they always do. We just take them for granted, but we shouldn't. These examples are from part 2, but actually there is a 25% chance you'll be asked about your family right at the start of your test. And you can download these questions and sample answers in the description below. Moving away from the family and on to neighbors. Here is a part 2 topic. Describe an interesting neighbor. What if we said, well, there is a man who's just moved into the building where I live, and we struck up a conversation the other day in the hallway. It turns out he's a retired diplomat, and he's full of stories about the places he's lived in all over the world. As you might expect, he's very unassuming and outwardly calm, very soft-spoken and sincere in everything he says. With our neighbor, we met for the first time and began to talk. To strike up a conversation means exactly that. To start an interesting conversation with someone you don't know. This neighbor has several good qualities. He's unassuming or modest. He's not the kind of person to talk about himself as if he were very important. He's outwardly calm. He never gets very excited or shows his feelings on the outside. He doesn't have a loud voice. Rather, he speaks quietly. He's soft-spoken. Another area where the topic asks you to talk about someone's character is describe a person you know who is helpful to others. Here is a way to begin. There is this woman I work with. She must be the most warm-hearted person in the world. If you're struggling with something, she's always there to lend you a hand, always with a cheerful smile on her face, and she never asks for anything in return, although I would be more than willing to help her with anything. I've never met anyone so kind and considerate. Yes, most people are nice, but this is such an overused adjective. How about using a compound adjective with hearted? You can be warm-hearted, kind-hearted, or good-hearted. You can also be evil-hearted, but let's not talk about that side of human nature. Of course, our good, warm-hearted friend will always find the time to help when you need it, will always be there to lend a hand. Or you can say to lend a helping hand. A smile can show that you are happy, so it's a cheerful smile. I suppose when we say cheers, it means happiness to you all. And there are more positive adjectives, and again, they go in pairs. Kind and considerate. She considers others or thinks about their needs. Another interesting part 2 topic is about leadership and the qualities you need to be a good leader. The topic question might be, describe someone you know who is a good leader or who would make a good leader. A sign of a good leader is someone who leads by example. And that's certainly true when it comes to my friend Mark. He works harder than anyone I know and is always on top of everything. Although he's very demanding, he knows how to delegate and has a great rapport with everyone in his team, as well as being very supportive. He's the kind of person who will stand by you when it's needed. Yes, a good leader is someone who shows others how to do things rather than tells. That's what we call leading by example. He or she should work hard and know about all the projects and tasks. So to be on top of things or on top of everything expresses that idea. At the same time, we expect leaders to be demanding. A team leader who makes sure that all the team members are working hard, for example. But leaders need to share tasks, to delegate, and to have a good working relationship with all the members of the team, or, as we say here, to have a great rapport with them, as well as being supportive, to help or back someone when necessary. Please note, when we use as well as, we need a gerund or a verb plus ing. He's kind and supportive as well as being honest. He's the type of person who will stand by you. It means he will give you their full support in all things. Going into topics and questions about famous people. One example is describe a famous person you would like to meet. Let's have a look at this example. I've chosen the climate activist Greta Thunberg. For someone of her age, she's made such an impact. She's so straightforward and she just tells it as it is and has this way of putting her ideas across in such a persuasive manner. I can see how she's inspiring young people to protest against climate change. Using the verb to make with a noun gives us loads of common word combinations, such as to make an impact. Some of us are very direct when we speak or act. We are straightforward and get to the point, saying what we think is true. We tell it as it is. A nice idiomatic expression. How we express our opinions, how we put our ideas across to convince others is a talent not all of us have. We've been trying today to describe other people, and usually we talk about how happy we are to see and get to know them. What if that's not the case? Let's go back to the neighbor topic for a minute and consider this question. How well do you know your neighbors? Well, to be honest, I usually try to keep myself to myself. I'm not very sociable. I've met a few people in my neighborhood, and because I'm not that outgoing, I haven't really bonded with anyone at all. Though there is this woman about my age who lives nearby and seems quite laid back and easygoing as far as I can see. So that was my answer. Of course, we're not all the same. Some people like to have lots of friends. They love to socialize. They are sociable. Others are very quiet and don't have very many friends. So we can say a person is not particularly or not very sociable. Be careful when you use the opposite of sociable, unsociable, because that describes someone very unfriendly and rude to others. So, if you're quite shy and don't socialize very much, you can say that you like to keep yourself to yourself. And if you're shy, you're not very outgoing. Someone who is outgoing is talkative, talks a lot, and finds it easy to make friends with or bond with others. Do you like people like that? Or do you prefer them to be more relaxed and easygoing, or as we sometimes say, laid back? Well, today I've shown you a lot of short examples from part 2. But the important thing is to keep on talking for 2 minutes to prove you can speak at length and to show more vocabulary and grammar. How can you do that? I'm talking about 2 things you should do in part 2 to improve your score in this video here. And don't forget to download the PDF with sample answers to questions asked at the beginning of your speaking exam. And thank you so much for watching me today. Good luck with your preparation and your exam. Bye!